Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. I'm so glad you're joining me. Today we're making another card in 5 easy steps, and it's a Christmas card. We're using the Spellbinders Yuletide Ride. This has a cute little car, and then it's loaded with all things Christmas. How sweet is this? So we'll be using this on our card today, and we are gonna, I do want to mention that I'm gonna make a bonus card too. I'm gonna be using the Spellbinders, the 3 Magi, and this will be a card that I'm going to create at the end. We'll just speed it up a little bit, but I thought we would use the same colors and create a card with this die set too. This is a real fun die set. Look how cute. Thought we'd create 2 cards today. Starting off with step number 1, we're going to create our focal point. We're going to do some die cutting. We're going to create the car. Okay, so we have the wheel, the tires, and the little bells and whistles that go with it. This is the top piece that goes to the car that holds everything. And today I'm just going to make some presents for the card. There's 2 presents, so we'll take these, and then there's a present topper. And then we also have a bow that you can add to the presents. We'll die cut this out also. So those are the only dies that we're going to be using. So I'm going to grab some colored cardstock. We're not going to do any ink blending. We're just going to layer it together. So I'm going to take my glue. Let's start by putting together the car. And we're going to add the tires. The car is really easy to put together. And then we're going to also add the decorative piece to the tires. The front light, which I die cut out with black, but I think a lighter gray would be nice too. But I wanted to pull a little bit more black in my scene. So this piece goes here. This piece goes here. And then I'm going to flip this over, and I'll add a couple dots of glue, and then this piece covers up the door handle there. Okay, and I'm going to add our wheels. We'll just place these on here. I'm not going to add any dimension because normally I would pop up the wheels and give it a little dimension, but my car is going to be popped up. We're going to add this piece. Now I love adding little extra details to my card. So you see I have a piece of acetate here. The acetate I narrowed. It's thicker on the bottom, and I kind of narrowed it up. I did this because we're going to put it behind our car here. But so this is what we look like so far. So we have it behind the windows, and then it kind of trails up. And this is going to be a perfect home to put my presents. So that's what we're going to make next. Okay, I just cut a thin strip of that glitter cardstock, and we are going to extend this bow. I don't think you're going to be able to tell. Now, I'm not going to put the rest of my ribbon on just yet. We're going to arrange them on this plastic. So I'm going to add some glue. The nice thing about adding this on the plastic is it kind of has a little landing area. Okay, and then now the acetate that's overhanging, I'm just going to trim away so you can't see it. So that's what the back looks like, and that is what the front looks like, and it's all one piece. Now with these pieces, maybe we'll just add one. I don't want the tails of my bow to kind of overpower my scene. Let's see what this looks like. Now I think I'm just going to add, let's see, 2. Does 2 look good? Maybe we'll just add the bottom 2. And then I'll save this for another day. Okay, this way it's not overpowering the top of my car. And I think that looks really fun. I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to put foam tape behind here. So that's ready to go. And that is my focal point. Now we're going to move along to step number 2 and we're going to create our home panel. I'm using 2 die sets for my home panel, and I trimmed down a piece of cardstock with white. Okay, this measures 2 3/4 inches wide, and it was 5.5 inches tall. What I did was took my landscape edge die, and I just created a cut line at the very top. Okay, and I took about maybe 1/2 inch off the top. Okay, so that's going to be my home panel base. And then I also cut out some borders. This is the Classic Mouse Borders die set. It's kind of a nautical theme, but I thought the music notes were so cute. It has, well, let me show you. This is the music notes. How cute is this? And then this is another border that's on there. And I thought this would go really good on my home panel. The rest of this is the stern, and then this is the anchor. I think that's the stern. It's a steering wheel. And I'm not sure what that's called, but it's a cute little border set. I'm going to be doing a Classic Mouse card pretty soon, so look forward to sharing that video with you. But back to our home panel. What we're going to do is back our borders up. I cut it out with the same cardstock that we used for our presents, so the Kraft, the Waterfall, and the Teal Topaz. Okay, I'm going to bring in some gray cardstock. Or maybe we should do off-white. Maybe gray. We're going to do some gray. Okay, this is Spellbinders Fog. And I'm going to add some glue behind here. And these strips are really long. I don't think you need them any longer than 4 1/4 inches. But I'm going to layer this on my gray cardstock. So that gray is behind here, and then I'll add my music notes. I tried to find a greeting that said like fa la 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 la. I think I had a foil plate that said that, and I thought, oh, that would be really cute as one of the borders. But I just couldn't find it. So we're just gonna use the music notes as is. But if you have a die or a border die that says fa la 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 la, I think that would be cute for a Christmas card. And then we will add this last piece. Okay. I'm just butting them all up together. And then I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim off the excess cardstock here. Okay, so that is going to be attached to this panel here. And I'm going to attach it using some glue. I'm going to attach this here. So about 1/2 inch is showing down here on the bottom. Maybe a little less than 1/2 inch. Maybe 1/4 inch would be better. We'll give that a press. And then I'm going to bring in my card base. When I line it up on this side over here, I'm making sure that this side here and this side here are evenly spaced so it doesn't shift. I'm going to tack it down with some low tack tape. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to trim off what's overhanging. Then I know it's going to fit perfectly on my A2 card base. And we have a fun home panel to put our little car on. How cute is this? We're going to move along to step number 3 and create our sentiment. The stamp set that I'm using is called Christmas Memories Enclosed. And I'm going to stamp on some of my Spellbinders Seaside cardstock. I think it's called Seaside. Okay, I have a strip here. And there was 2 sentiments in here that I thought would be cute. I thought Just Keep Wrapping would be really cute since we have the presents on top, or just plain Merry Christmas. And maybe we'll stamp both and see which one looks best. How about that? Okay, so we'll take Merry Christmas and Just Keep Wrapping. I'm going to use my Memento ink I don't want my greeting to be too dark, and Memento is like, we'll stamp it a couple times. Wonderful. Okay, and then what I'll do is block both of these off, meaning I'll trim them, and I'll do that and I'll be right back. And that's my greeting. We'll put this to the side, and now we're going to work on step number 4 and create our background. I'm just using an A2 panel, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, of my Spellbinder Seaside. It's the same one that we use for our greeting here, and I'm just going to layer it directly on the front of my card base. You could very well, of course, create a card base with this, but I like to stretch my cardstock, so A2 panels work great for me. And that's all I'm doing for my background. Pretty simple. Let's go ahead and put together our card. I'm going to take this piece. Now I put glue behind my home panel, and we're going to go ahead and layer this. And you know what? I think I'm going to stamp my greeting directly on my background. So I'm going to bring back my stamping positioner. I was going to pop it up, but I think it would look really nice if I just stamped it directly on my background. Okay, let's see what this does. Let's go ahead and add some more ink here. I am going to wipe off any excess because we're stamping directly on the card base. We'll stamp this. Yes. Give it a good press. And I'm liking this a lot better. Okay, so our greeting is stamped directly on our card base. And we can always save these for another. We'll put this with our bow. And I'm loving the way this looks a lot nicer. So stamp your greeting directly on your background panel. Now I'm going to take my focal point. We're going to remove the release paper here. And let's tack this down on the front of our card here. I mean, how cute is this? Okay, now we're going to move along to step number 5 and do a little bit of embellishing. I thought we'd add a little bit more shimmer, and so I'm going to bring in my spray box or my splatter box, and I'm using my Shears Shimmer Kraft Sparkle Spray. I'm going to shake it up really good because it likes to set in the bottom. And I'm going to lightly spray over the top a mist. So this is going to have that nice little shimmer when you tilt it. Okay, and then I'm also going to bring in some of my Nuvo vintage drops. This is chalk stick, and I thought we would add some snowfall right behind our presents. So I'm going to add some drops here. But that finishes my card today in 5 easy steps. Now we're going to move along to our bonus card, and I'm going to speed the process up for that really quickly. I mentioned that we're going to be using the 3 Magi die set. Okay, and I had already created two Magi. Okay, I'm going to show you how I put it together because it was very easy. Okay, what I'm going to do is add some glue here, and I'm also going to add some glue here where we put the hand. First you put the arm, and there's debossed area so you know which angle to put the arm at. Very, very simple. And then I'm going to add a little more glue here, and then we add the coat of our Magi. And then we can add a little dot of glue here. You can actually zoom in a little bit. Sometimes I forget to zoom in. Okay, and then we can add the collar. Okay, now the face is a little bit more tricky. You have the beard here. I'm going to add a little dot of glue to the left of my face. And then we're going to add the beard. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it around. And then I'm going to add this little piece. We'll add a little more glue. And then this little piece is the eyebrow you put behind there. Okay? And I have glue oozing around him, so I'm going to wipe it off. Okay, so that's his face. And then we have this little piece that goes behind the crown. And I'm going to add the crown to that. And then I'll add a little dot of glue at the top of this guy's head. And then we can add our crown, like so. And his head's all done. Okay? And then basically you add a dot of glue here. And then you pick up this guy. And then you pick up his head. And then you can add it to the top of the collar. And that's all there is to that. Okay, for his hand, we just add a dot of glue at the base, and then we can bring his arm or his cuff over. And lastly, we add a little dot of glue to our gift. I cut mine out, all my gifts, with gold. And then we are going to attach the arm here. Press it down. And that's all there is to this Magi. And now for our home panel, we'll scoot these over. For my home panel, I have 2 pieces of cardstock. This one measures 4.5 inches tall by 3.25 inches wide. And then I did create another little hill here, or a snowbank, that we're going to attach to the kraft panel. And this measures 3.25 inches wide, so it's just going to layer together. It's a little bit more than the halfway mark that you're going to cut that hillside. Okay, and then this will be my home panel. I also used the same border die set and cut out a border with some gold glitter cardstock. And I thought we would add this to the very bottom. And I did trim off the excess. The cardstock that was behind this border was the same kraft. Okay, and that is my home panel. I'm gonna take my Magi, flip them over, and I'm gonna arrange them on here. Okay, I layered them 3 in a row, so the bottom is straight here. And then for the star, there's 3 stars, and I layered the biggest one and the smallest one together, just for a little extra dimension. And I layered it right here on top. Okay, now we're going to add our step number 3, which is our sentiment. And this comes with a stamp set. And I thought we would stamp the greeting in here that says, let the star guide your heart this Christmas. I thought that'd be pretty right here on the bottom. I'm going to stamp directly on the bottom here, kind of centering it. Wonderful. I just think that looks so pretty. Okay, now we're going to move along to step 4, which is our background. And for my background, I had already put an A2 panel of my Seaside cardstock directly on my card base, and that's all I'm doing to my card today. I'm going to take my home panel with my focal point, and we'll add this. And then we will move along to step 5 and embellish our card. And I'm going to embellish my card today with the same Nuvo drops. I thought we would add some snowfall in the background of this card too. So I'm just going to add some little dots. Okay, we'll add one more here. And that finishes that card off in 5 easy steps. So here's a look at both cards that we made today. And actually both of these die sets are part of the same collection, and I'll leave the collection down below if you guys want to check it out. But hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration, and thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.